Hello guys and welcome back. I am Cess the Mess and I am going to be your guide for this doll review because you might think to yourself, Monster High are good. Monster High are maybe even great. But do you know what would make them perfect? Witches. Yeah, no, you probably didn't think that because they've actually already done that, but they have done it again with Moonspell Magic, their newest doll line that has now officially hit the shelves, and you might notice there are two of them behind me. So, without a doubt, let's jump into Moonspell Magic. Now you might be wondering to yourself, Cess, if you're reviewing these dolls, aren't you doing a proper review? Why are they already perched behind you? And there is a reason for that. I wanted to film this video in one solid day. I wanted to get the dolls, open them, film them all at the same time. Three things happened though. The first is I pre-ordered them, but Claire actually came before Willow did, which I'm not sure why. I ordered them from Smyths Toys. I did have to do two separate pre-orders, so maybe that's why, and it was just which they could ship out on which day, but they didn't actually arrive at the same time. Also, the UK has had a heat wave. I am autistic. I do not do well when my body cannot regulate heat, so I've been dying. And then I actually started dying because me and my baby got a cold. How do you get a cold in a heat wave? I don't know, but we both got really sick. Now, any parent can tell you getting sick yourself is one thing, your baby getting sick is one thing, but when you're both ill at the same time, it destroys you. So the dolls came, I was miserable, and I was like, I really want to open them. I really need some joy right now. So I opened them up. You are going to see I filmed them the same day I opened them is when I reviewed them, but I'm just doing this little yapping bit now that none of you care about. So I just want to address a few things about these dolls. So these dolls are obviously in collaboration with Monster High. They are part of the Monster High universe, and Monster High has been very strong-witted about that. Here's my little torn up box, and you will notice Monster High is wrote on all their packaging, all of their boxing. They are very keen to let you know this is a Monster High product, which is not a new thing. If you remember Ever After High, this is also something they did then. They also had crossover characters, with it being Cupid was the crossover for that, and it's very clear that they're pushing Draculaura to be the crossover for this because they've all got the American Horror Story hats. But in reality, these dolls felt like they kind of came out of nowhere, and maybe I wasn't in the know, but I remember as soon as they came out, I put it on Reddit and I was like, hey, what do you guys think? And everyone was like, well, I think I didn't know these were going to exist. So as a doll collector, it really took me as a hit because Monster High usually is leaked way in advance, and they're not very good at hiding things. And also, I assumed when I first started hearing about these dolls, well, okay, there's going to be a webisode, there's going to be a movie, they're going to do something that they traditionally do. Ever After High had a webisode. There's been no media on these dolls particularly, and even people that were invited to the pre-releases and the events, there's not been anything there. People have been very vocal about filming and showing off the pre-events where I thought something would get announced. Now, the creators were asked, and they did say the chances were they'd do something like a webisode or something like that, or the shorts that we've been getting from Monster High. But if you've seen Battle of the Bands, yeah, no, you can keep that. So who knows, maybe we'll get a magazine, maybe they will be in the Monster High magazines, the Monster High shows, and they won't have their own media, but for now, all we've got to go off is the dolls. So let's have a look at them. So this is the beautiful Claire in her box. I will say I do really like the box art. You will also notice that they do have her name in Braille, which I think is such a lovely aspect. It does make me wonder why they didn't do it with all the dolls though, if they're showing they can do it. And unfortunately, Monster High is still on this shit. Whoever keeps putting these in the back of dolls' heads, I am going to come for you. Now, this is the bag she came with. Accessory-wise, I am up and down about these dolls. I do really like this bag, though. I think it's really pretty, really detailed. I do like that it's got an opening as well, so you could put stuff in it. They seem to have shifted away from that Monster High thing of just giving them snacks. Like, everything feels purposeful. It is a shame you can't fit her other accessories in her accessory, if that makes sense. But I do think the bag is really cute, and you can swap around with other dolls, so I do really like this one. Then we go on to her book. You'll also notice it yet again has tiny little bits of Braille on it. I think it's really cute. It's a shame the backing isn't as detailed. I think if you're going to add this trim and the metal clasps, you might as well colour them. I don't see the point in not doing that. And unfortunately, this book doesn't open, which makes no sense to me, especially when you look at Draculaura's book. Same company, they made it so that you can open her book. It might still not be detailed on the back, but they've managed to put stuff inside of it. I think especially for a character where there's a lot of emphasis on the fact that they read Braille in their books to do their magic, it would have been nice to do that on the inside as well and them open up and be able to position the dolls actually holding these books. I think that was a weird choice. Moving on to her little potion box, I do like that all the dolls have these. Same with the books, it's nice little potion things, so if you were making a display or if you were a child playing with them, they also have that little mould in the bottom. I just showed that so that the doll can actually position it in their hand, and it does seem to grip well. You also obviously have the holder on the side so the dolls can hold it, and I will say the top does look like a stopper, which is cute. My personal favourite accessory is this though. I think the crystal ball is so cute. Unfortunately mine, I don't know if this is just mine, so I'm not going to moan about it too much, has a very distinct line where obviously the ball is clasped together, which I think is a shame. But I will say the glitter on it, which my camera does no justice for, is honestly stunning and looks really pretty. It is just a shame about that clasp line. Then she also comes with her glasses. I actually owned a pair of glasses and a hat like her when I was a teenager, so this actually feels very reminiscent of me wanting to be a witch and in my witchy era. But they're cool, yeah. Monster High sunglasses are never overly detailed, but I feel like these actually really work and are really cute. You also, with these dolls, for every single one of them, get a cauldron, which I do like. It's obviously another fun thing. You can add water to these and it pops out. I did not fancy adding water near my PC, so I did not do it. But inside each of them is a little necklace. I wish the tarot card on this, though, was a different colour because it blends in too much and just kind of makes it stop looking like a tarot card. But anyway, you can add water, it pops up. It's a really fun play aspect if you're a kid playing with it. I think as a collector, it's that kind of annoying thing where it's not made for me, so I can't complain, but I wish it could pop up anyway so I could do something with it. This is the necklace you get with it. It's not the most detailed thing, but I do think it's cute, and I like that it gets with all the dolls. And this is her. I must say, I love her outfit. This jacket is my favourite. I think it's so cute and detailed. Really works for the witchy vibe. She's also obviously got her guidance stick. She's got her beautiful earrings as well, which I think are so nice. Her hat as well, having the little astrology signs. I love it. I was trying to figure out which one was Taurus because that's what I am, but I'm dreadful with them. And I love that the shimmer pattern goes throughout. The belt could have been detailed. I'm always going to moan about dolls not having detailed accessories, but the skirt makes up for that because it is so beautiful and it shimmers so gorgeously. I will say these dolls do not come with stands, which just seems to be a Monster High thing, but they do actually stand quite well. I'll show you her shoes in more detail later, but there was just an oversight of the boots. I love that they went for the higher boot effect for her. I think it's so cute, and that's her stick absolutely leaving. But the jacket, honestly, is the main attraction for me. I think it's gorgeous. But then with her face as well, the way they went about doing her eyes, I feel like it's very respectful, but without just pretending it's not there. I think it's honestly gorgeous. I love her lipstick. I love that they didn't just keep everything blue. They added in those kind of pink tones. I think it complements her really well. I also found her hair was beautiful. It was so soft. I didn't feel like I needed to brush through it or fix it up. It was just absolutely an amazing quality straight away. This is a closer look at the shoes. I absolutely love them. Mine's paint was a bit chipped, but I still think they're absolutely stunning. And honestly, this is the doll I see most people gravitating towards, and I can see why. She's honestly so beautiful. From a little moon tattoo, she just fits in so well and blends. But we have two dolls. Have a look at this lady. Willow looks amazing. Yet again, the boxes are really similar. They didn't do the kind of Monster High thing where each box and each doll has its own kind of colour scheme like you used to see in the original Monster Highs. Maybe they'll do that eventually. I would like it, especially for collectors that keep in the box, but who knows. Then we get to the slightly disappointing fact. This is her bag. Now, is the design beautiful? Yeah, it's really cute. It really fits in with the plant vibe, having a moth or butterfly. I'm not sure what it's meant to be. One, it doesn't open. There's no way to open this. So you can't do anything with it, yet they made the other bag have the little open in it. So they've proven they can do it. And also, where is the colour? Where is the detail? They've obviously put detail in with the shaping and the patterns, but I think to make it one bland colour is so boring. I don't even think I'd mind if the whole butterfly was purple, but then the strap was green to make it look like ivy or vines. I just think they got really lazy with her bag. I will say though, you go over to accessories like this and I think it's so cute. It's so amazing for displaying, making a little world for the doll. If you were playing with this as a kid, I think this would be a really fun activity to do like little potions with. It's got the little dip in the bottom so that you can place it on your doll's hand. So I don't know what the point is making so much detail for one thing and then kind of skimping out on the other. But I will say this is a personal accessory for her and I do really like it. Of course, she also comes with her own little spell book. I do like that they are personal, as much as I'm complaining about the fact you can't open this. It does still have the same detail. It doesn't even try attempt to have a clasp though, which kind of makes me forgive it a little bit more for not being as detailed on the back. But I do like that it's personalised to her. I just wish there was a little bit of detail on that edging or just around the spine of the book, and obviously that they opened. I will say her potion bottle, my camera didn't know justice, but it has the most beautiful shimmer to it. It kind of came out a bluey effect. The camera's kind of picking it up, but it doesn't do it justice. And for a witch that's kind of based around like nature and flowers, I really enjoyed that. I thought it was really cute and detailed. And of course, she came with a cauldron as well. I really love the green they picked for this. And I know you're sick of me moaning about this, wish it had the detail on the front because it's such a pretty pattern. The necklace on this one, unfortunately, had been jammed for a bit. So what you didn't see was me trying to like fiddle it out because it got caught in the edge. But it's really pretty. It goes with her theme again. I think it's nice to have the florals on it. Just like with the other one as well, you can add water and lift it up. I think this one gets away with the back not being as detailed a little bit more. Obviously, I would have liked some greens added to it, but I enjoy the bring back of the purple. It does link everything together, even though I will get onto this, but I did not want her to have purple hair. But bits like this, it should have been a metal colour, it should have been a tone. But getting onto a part of this doll I do love is her face. I think she is so beautiful. Now, a ton of people have said this. She should have had ginger hair. I just feel like it'd been perfect. But something I do love about her is her little hearing aid. I think it's so good. I don't know if this is just how my doll's hair sat, but it kind of sat so that it was visible, which I think was lovely, that it's kind of designed that you do see it. It's a shorter earring on that side as well, so you can really see it and make a point of it, but you could remove it if you wanted to, if it's not something you felt like you wanted on your doll. I will say I love her makeup, but it kind of went for the, right, purple's her colour, so we're going to keep it. Unlike when you look at Claire, where she had the touches of pink. I have to say, and I don't know if this is just my doll, but I was really disappointed with her hair in texture and quality, let alone colour. It was just really scratty. I was so careful getting it out the box, yet it was really wiry. I felt like it needed a lot of work, and I still feel like I need to restore it quite a bit. So please let me know if anyone else has had issues with her hair. It just felt like a massive quality drop, which is a shame, because when you look at this beautiful top and they've gone to the point of making the puffed sleeves and having that detail, I just think it's a shame about the hair. What I will say is I hate this belt thing, and I took it off her straight away because, yet again, why is it just one big purple blob? Could have made the bag blobby, you know, and then made the breast string. Like, why is it all purple? I will say I love her trousers, but yet again, a quality drop, because listen to this. I don't know what noise that is. That noise is cheap quality, which is such a shame, because look at these beautiful patterns. I would wear these trousers in real life. This doll's outfit is why I liked her, and yet they've gone for really bad quality. You can see it fraying when I'm trying to show off the shoes. And yet again, the shoes, it is just one block blobby colour. And look, these dolls aren't mega expensive, so you're not going to get masses of detail. I know I'm moaning about something that I'm not necessarily paying for, but when you look at this beautiful detailing on the face to add the white lashes and have the little petals and the freckles, it's a shame. So now that we've had a look at these dolls, I want to talk about a few things. One being progression, and one being how are they actually going to fit into the Monster High universe? We touched on this briefly, but I think it's important to look at. Like I said, the branding is very, this is a Monster High product. It's not, this is its own separate thing, this is going to be this. It is Monster High. Now, I never was a very big collector of Ever After High. I had about, I think, only 4 dolls in total, I believe. But I don't think they ever had Monster High on the packaging, even though they had a collab character in Cupid, and even though they crossed over in ways, there was never that this is a Monster High product. So I was really shocked to see that on the boxing for these dolls, because when originally they were getting discussed, I was like, ah, yeah, they're probably going to send Draculaura over because her new thing is like being a witch, because apparently Monster High forgot that they've already done that. But they've made witchcraft this big thing in the Monster High universe, which, look, I'm not here to discuss the animated shows anymore. I'm not here to discuss anything like that, but like, why is witchcraft this taboo thing in a world full of monsters? Like, I really don't get it. But G3 is its own thing. Nothing is ever going to be as good as 13 Wishes, and I have to accept that. But what I find really interesting, and maybe it's just a me thing, and I would love to know you guys' opinions on it, is they don't really go with Monster High dolls. Now, for those who don't know, I have a whole Monster High dolls house next to me that I've been slowly making and editing. You can catch that on Reddit if you want to keep an eye on my progress. But I was like, well, I'll display the dolls with my Monster Highs, because there's one area particularly I was like, oh, I could do with like filling it with some different dolls. I'm a huge Draculaura collector, so I was like, oh, this will give it a bit of a change. You know, this can be like the witchy area. And I held the dolls up next to each other and I was like, they don't work together, which really confused me because they have been made to be with Monster High. So why don't they look right together? And this 100% might be a me thing. I always have been quite obsessive since I was a kid about like, well, this is this, so this goes with this, and this is this, so this goes with this. So it might be me making that distinction in my head, but I don't think the dolls particularly look good together. And maybe that there's a point to that. Maybe it's like, well, the monsters are monsters and the witches are witches, so they're gonna look different. It is literally humans and monsters. But then why do this when Monster High had its own witches and maybe could have done something a lot more creative and not have this a completely separate thing? Or do what they did with Ever After High and kind of have that differentiation. I don't know if any of you ever had Ever After High and Monster High dolls, but I never found myself personally playing with them together. I just found myself nicking my Monster High and Ever After High clothes and like swapping them around because they fit each other, because they were both absolute far too skinny legends. But when these are being marketed to be with them, I kind of wish they fit more. It's things like even the head sizes. And now I get that some of the monsters have very distinct facial shapes, jawing, body, because they are monsters. I do know that. But even like characters that are very much based off like humans or are more humanistic, I don't know if that's a word, don't look the best next to these dolls. And even Draculaura looks bizarre next to these witchcraft dolls, which kind of makes it feel a little bit pointless to push them so much when they could do their own thing. And that leads into my next point, which is, where's the progression for these dolls? Now, I am going to say straight off the bat, do I think these dolls will be as successful as Monster High? No, I think Monster High was a shot in the dark that landed and did absolutely amazing. It's like Barbie. There were doll brands before Barbie. Barbie hit some nail on the head, now it's this massive brand. I think it's the same with Monster High. So, you know, things are going to come and be little collabs, just like big companies like Barbie. You get different variants. They don't do as well. But I don't think this brand is actually going to do well at all, really. I don't see progression. And I do want to state, whenever I say this about a toy company or a doll, unless it's because they're doing something problematic, I want them to succeed. I want them to do well. I love that little girls, little boys, anyone is getting the chance to play with dolls that very much vary and different. And I want to say from the bottom of my heart, I love how inclusive these dolls are. It's not in your face. It's like when I talked about it in the review. But, you know, having a character that is partially sighted, having a character that is hard of hearing, kids can imagine their own situations put onto these dolls. They've made it that these disabilities are actually these dolls' strengths. It is very much a trope in media that anyone that is blind, I mean, to go back to American Horror Story Coven, because let's face it, they are basically just those Coven members. Losing your eyesight usually means you gain abilities in seeing into the future, or for her, more like seeing through her tarot cards, kind of that aspect of it. And then you've got Willow, who it was cited that because of her hard of hearing, she can actually hear animals, which I think is really interesting. I will say though, I heard about that and I was like, oh, that's cool. But I was like, so why didn't they like give her anything animalistic? Going back to, they should have given her ginger hair. They should have given her ginger hair and a fox. How cool would that have been? It might just because I love foxes, but I think that would have been really cool. But I love that they have took these things and gone with it. Monster High is getting so good with that. I talked about in my very, very long Monster High video about G3 about how Frankie having the prosthetic leg was so good because they just incorporated it. It made so much sense for her doll and they went with it. I think that's a really good thing, but I don't see how these dolls are going to progress. And now, I found this on TikTok, so you need to take it with not a pinch of salt, but a whole brick of salt. This video and this image has been popping up. A few other places have shared it now, saying that this is going to be the next line of these dolls. Now, obviously it's a sleepwear one, which I get. Monster High since G1 has done a very similar thing. You get your core dolls, and then they do things like they've done the cheerleading, they've done the cafeteria, they've done the sleepwear ones. But I look at these and I'm like, okay, cool, you're just a human in sleep clothes. There's nothing particularly witchy about this. There's nothing really distinct about your outfits. You're just in pajamas. And then if I just wanted a doll in pajamas, I could buy a Barbie. Really, couldn't I? I think that's where it stumps me, and I'm like, what happens next? And now, hey, I ain't a doll designer. They might have an amazing plan for this, and I honestly hope they do, because it'll be very interesting to see how it progresses. Obviously, as an adult collector, not a child playing with these, I'd love to see some more gothic versions of the dolls. I think that would be incredible. Hell, push more on that American Horror Story Coven look. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see some males in this line as well. I think that could be interesting to see what they do. I don't think there's enough representation. I'll speak today. I don't think there's enough representation for males in dolls, so I would like to see that, you know? I'd like to know more about them, and I think maybe a big part that is stumping me is I feel like I know so little about these dolls. Before a release, I usually know the majority of information on these dolls, and then we receive the dolls, but with these, I feel like I'm in the dark. I will say, despite me moaning about aspects and things like that, I do like these dolls. I think they're really beautiful. I don't see myself getting any more, definitely of this line. I think these two are the ones automatically I really hovered towards. I will say Claire is probably my absolute favourite. If Willow just had that goddamn ginger hair, which I am tempted to reroute because I've seen a lot of people do this and do it as ginger, but I've not done it on a Monster High kind of skull before, so I'm nervous. Maybe then she'll be my 100% girl. But I don't see myself buying more, but that doesn't take away from my love for them, and I do think they are beautiful dolls. And like I said, even though I don't personally see it, I always hope for a doll line to do well, because it's nice to see just interesting characters. That is all for today though. I hope you enjoyed. I feel like I was kind of negative during this review, but it's just how I feel about the line. It's just how I feel about the dolls. I did try to do some witchy makeup for you guys. If I was going to be a witch, I 100% would be a water witch. I don't know what a water witch does. Like, I can fill your bath for you, but that's what I would be. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I really enjoy getting to rant about dolls, and it's just such a nice outlet for me. I want to know your opinions though. I want to know what you think about these dolls. Did you purchase any of them? Like I said, I spoke first about this on Reddit, and all of us were like, nah, we're not going to buy them, we're not that bothered. And then everyone I know has purchased at least 1 to 2 of these dolls. So maybe we were all wrong. But please let me know who your favourite is. Please let me know who your least favourite is as well, because I'm very interested. You can find me on all my social media links down below. I have loved chatting to you guys, and I hope I get to see you again soon.